Hey, quick question. Do you play contemporary gospel music? Okay, then what about gospel quartet music? Well, are you interested? So cool, if you're a bass player and you answered yes or no to either one of these questions, stick around, I got something for you. I'm Jermaine Morgan, musician and producer, and I've been playing gospel music pretty much my whole musical life, and I've worked in gospel music with some of today's leading artists and some of the artists of old for over 15 years. And because of my experience, I have a pretty good idea of what gospel music should sound like. What I've done is I've taken all of these influences from contemporary music and gospel quartet music, and I've created some jam packs just for you. I've created one for contemporary gospel music to give you an idea of how to approach today's contemporary gospel. And I've also created one for gospel quartet to give you an idea of how to approach gospel quartet music, both old school and modern music. So in these packs, I've included my bass take so you can have a good idea of how I approached it from my perspective, but I also give you the bassless track so you can do your own thing. You can use these to upload videos on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you choose, whatever platform you choose to upload your videos. Or if you just want to jam out around the house, it's perfect for that as well. And get this, I've also included the sheet music and the tab if you need that little extra help. And if that's not enough, what I've done is I went a step further and I did instructional videos to show you guys if you're completely new to gospel music, gospel quartet, gospel contemporary music. I've created instructional videos to show you guys how to navigate through these tracks, even break down a few of the licks that I'm playing in these tracks to give you some ideas of what can work over these type grooves. So I look forward to seeing you on the inside. Thank you. I'm out. Peace. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Grooves and Motivation Live. This is Jermaine Morgan. I see Anthony Robinson is in the building this morning, and I've already seen you guys started to chat this morning. So great to have everybody here. Happy belated 4th for you guys that are still celebrating. I know some of you are on vacation and all that kind of stuff if you live in the United States. And so thank you again for joining me, for getting up on your day off. I really, really appreciate you. Stephen, good morning to you, man. Anybody else? Be sure to drop in the chat where you're watching from. I know you're watching from North Carolina this morning. And for anybody else, be sure to drop that in the chat this morning. I love to see that. Man, just really, really thankful, really grateful to be here. Corey, man, good morning to you, Corey. Louisville is in the business, in the building. All right. The director is good morning. I'm here in ATL with family, having a great time. Awesome. ATL is in the building. Cool stuff. I would say I'm in ATL, but that'd be a bit of a stretch. I'm near ATL, but I'm right outside of the city. All right. So James, good morning to you, man. James Watkins out of Baltimore, Maryland. Yes, sir. DMV in the building. Got you. West Palm Beach. David, good morning to you, man. Yeah, keep them coming. Keep them coming. That's so cool, man, to see you guys from all around the world checking us out this morning. Yeah, we was going to jump into a little groove. I had this topic that I wanted to talk about. I won't get into that right now, but you've seen the title about are you determined? And yeah, it's good. It's some good stuff today. So I'm excited about talking about that for a brief second. We won't spend a lot of time there. Who is that? B Moore is in the building. Al, what's going on, man? Let's see what we got with this little groove here while everybody's joining in. You can keep dropping your names in the chat and where you're watching from, but we're going to dig into this groove a little bit. I had this thing I was working. I had 2 different grooves, but I think I'm settling on this one right now. So let's see where this goes. Burton, hi Jermaine, miss you, man. Couldn't watch for a long time. COVID issues, but I'm healthy now and ready to play again. Man, I'm glad that you're better. Thank you for being here, but I'm definitely glad that you're over that COVID thing. I know that could be a beast. Calencia, good morning to you. Toronto is in the building. Kenya is in the building. Good morning, Bernard. Good morning to you. Now I'm starting to wonder if I recorded the loop too low. Morning, Tiffany. Let me do the bass line again. So, all right, here we go. Miss J, good morning to you. It's coming together. Knocking the cobwebs off of it. Let's see who else we got this morning. So Floppy, good morning to you, man. Hello, Jermaine. Glad it's Tuesday. Not been a fun morning at work, so needing this. I got you, man. Well, hopefully today will get better for you. Charles, good morning to you, man. Philly is in the building. Harmony is fire, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Floppy. I really appreciate it. I'm just kind of knocking the dust off. I had a long weekend, traveled this weekend, and then I took yesterday off, all family time, because Sunday was kind of busy. I'm sure it was for a lot of people, so just kind of like didn't do anything yesterday, just really tried to focus on family. So I'm knocking a lot of the dust off my fingers this morning, so thank y'all for bearing with me while I get my stuff together. All right. Latrell, man, it's some dust. It's some dust. I'm normally a little bit cleaner, but it's some dust. Y'all always hear me in the morning, so it's always dusty for y'all. But for me, throughout the day, it gets a little cleaner. It's a little more precise. But at 7:30 in the morning, yeah, I got a little dust on my hands. Floppy says, looking at upscaling my pickup on my Kingston Super 5, but can't decide on Bart's or Nordstrom's. Well, you know I'm a Bart guy, so I'm going to be a little biased. So, but it's up to you, what you like the most. Andrew, good morning to you, man. Good morning, Jermaine. Thank God it's Tuesday. I know it's a long overdue, but I finally got my copy of the book, 10 Ways to Success. It's a great read. Happy I got it. Hope you are well, sir. Man, I am well. Thank you so much for supporting the book. I don't know if I sent that to you personally because the mail has been trash, for a lack of a better word, you know. So I'm glad that you got it. I'm glad that you got it. Floppy says family time is so important. Absolutely. I'm gonna get out of this groove. Just like musicians, we gotta end on it gotta be an ending. You just can't cut it off, right? I'll try this other groove here in a second. Yeah, I'm just warming the fingers up. Yeah, it's okay. I got you, Andrew. Got it on Amazon. Sweet, sweet. Tony, good morning to you, man. And if any of you guys are wondering what book he's talking about, it means you hadn't been here before. But my book, 10 Ways to Success, I normally have it in hand, but I think it's back there on my shelf. But 10 Ways to Success, The Working Musician. This is not a get-rich-quick book, but there are principles in there that you could possibly make a good little bit of change if you apply these principles, and it doesn't require you to become a famous musician in order to see massive success in your career, in your journey. I had a friend of mine who's well respected in the music industry, who's doing some major things, and we were talking. He and I talk a lot concerning business, concerning entrepreneur, because he's doing some things himself. But he really kind of gave me kudos yesterday in terms of, he's like, man, you're doing some major, amazing things as a musician. The fact that you're able to do what you do and you're not dependent on a gig or for us in the musician community, especially like coming out of church, is like you're not dependent on a church, you're not dependent on this, you're not dependent on that. You've kind of established yourself. He's like, man, that's something to be commended. And I look at it and I'm like, wow, man, thank God that I'm able to, provide and take care of my family through means and gifts of which he's allowed me to do and grow and develop and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's possible. I'm a living witness that, you don't have to sell your soul, as some may say in the music industry. Like you have to, do some weird stuff to get ahead in this thing. It's like, that's one way to go about it, but that ain't the way I want to choose with it. So just in case you're discouraged this morning, and this ain't even what my talk is about, but just in case you're discouraged and you think this is kind of a dead end thing, don't look at the musician approach or the music career as one-sided or a dead end road. I can't go anywhere. I can't make it in this thing. It's possible. Even in 2020, it was hard. I'm not going to say it wasn't hard, but God still sustained my family and I during that time, being exclusively music and not having a quote unquote job, so it is possible to do. It does take a lot of effort, takes a lot of work, takes a lot of thinking outside of the norm and the natural in terms of what everybody does in this industry, but it's possible to make it. It's possible to not just survive, but thrive as well. And I know what both of them kind of looks like. You know what I'm saying? More on the surviving side than the thriving side. But I do know what it looks like, and I have kind of written down some steps that I feel like that will help some people to get there and to start exploring other ideas. Just throwing that nugget in, since my guy Andrew mentioned the book. It's possible. It's possible to do it. So let's jump in this other groove real quick. I forgot what I did, but we'll get into it. All right. All right. So let's add some stuff to it. You can think of this in 6/8 or 12/8, depending on how you want to count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or you can 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Count 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I'll do it in 6. Robbie. Hi, Morgan. Long time we didn't talk together. I was in prayer and fasting all those days. When are you doing some bass tutorials with 5 and 6 strings? Regards from St. Denis. I have quite a bit of those on my monthly membership lessons. I'm not sure what in particular you're referring to, but yeah, I've done quite a bit of those. Washington says, of course, Washington from Zimbabwe. Good morning to you, man. Glad to have you here. Lost it. Do it again. All right. Welcome again. Let me go back to some comments here. I see I missed quite a few. I missed quite a few. All right, so Floppy again says, liking this. Al B. Bass sounds amazing, bro. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Burton says, Jermaine, what are you using to get that awesome sound out of that bass? Um, I guess you mean pedal wise. It's the same setup I'm normally using. I think I seen a question earlier pop up about the filter that I was using, and that was an MXR envelope filter, bass envelope filter. And the other sounds I'm using is I was using a delay, TC Electronic. What is this? I can't remember. It's dark down here, so let me turn my light on where I can see this delay pedal that I'm using. It's an alter ego delay, and it's a Hall of Fame reverb too. Those are just little effects to get some ambience added to the bass. But other than that, everything else is, it's pretty much straight bass that was being played here. Just, straight bass. Wow, never too early to groove, I suppose. Nah, it's never too early to groove. Scarabi says, I took time for myself. I'm following you right now. I'm getting ready for my traditional weeding, which is very important for me as an African. I'm your I don't know how to, Congolese German student. All right. I know I butchered that, but man, thank you so much for listening. Which envelope filter do you use? Yeah, I just answered that question there. Floppy says, time to go. Oh man, hate to see you leave, man. Thanks for uplifting Bass Jam. Feeling much better. Glad that you feel better. I'm glad I was able to help you if you're still here, man. Angel, good morning, brother Morgan. Pennsylvania is in the house. Yes, sir. Glad to have you, dude. Music for Jesus. Good morning from Tennessee. Groove sounds amazing as usual this morning. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Had two ideas. Didn't know where I was going with either of them, but I like them. So I might take these and do a little something with them. I don't know yet. I am getting way along in this project with kind of finishing up the band record, Dreams Work Reality 2. If you haven't downloaded one, if you haven't bought the hard copy, I do have hard copy CDs still available. For those of you who still use CDs, you can just go to my website to order those, your CD. I want you to have that one, Dreams Work Reality Part 1, because the Part 2, we're getting a little bit more intense. And so you need to be got your feet in the water to, I wouldn't say you need that one to understand Part 2, but they're all connected. The music is all connected. So Definitely grab that if you guys haven't did that already. So we're talking about this morning, and let me say this again. I'm Jermaine Morgan, if you haven't figured it out by now, and this again is Grooves and Motivation Live. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, be sure to do that now so you don't miss any time that I go live. I love coming on here every Tuesday morning and sharing and talking and speaking with you guys, kind of learning who's out there in base world and YouTube land, if you will. And be sure to turn on that bell notification so you're notified each time I post a new video. All right. So I wanted to talk about this morning. Are you determined? Are you determined? This came up from a conversation. I have this thing that I read for my family. Some of you guys have it. I've talked about this many, many times. A vision board. Some of you guys have a vision board where you're headed, some things you'd like to see in your life. Basically, it gives you like a target of what it is you're trying to do in terms of your, whether it's spiritual, whether it's physical, in terms of your body, your mind, mental, all of this kind of stuff. So I have a vision board of some things that I want to do, some things I want to accomplish, some things I'd like to have. It's all on there. It's all on the board. And I oftentimes read this out loud for my family. We read it together. And so we got to this one statement in there, and I read this statement. I wrote this statement down. And I appreciate that. Music for Jesus. She said, like and support these videos. I appreciate that. And Scarabi, really quick, you said which pedals are important for bassists. I'm not going to say one or the other. A good compression wouldn't hurt anything, but it's not, you don't have to have it. You don't have to have any pedals to be a good bassist. I went years without having any pedals for my bass. There are some that I use now, and I have like the Spectre Drive where I use the compression out of that pedal, but it's not necessary that you have any pedals, but they always help, and they always add a little bit more excitement to what you're doing. Octaver is cool to have if you don't have one of those. I had one, and I got to get me another one. I think I got rid of the one that I had. I've had several pedals. But yeah, a tuner. If anything, get a tuner. Make sure you have that one. I would say that's an important one to have. So get back to this. So I read this particular thing that we read when I read the list. The statement I took from this book that I read, I think it was The Richest Man in Babylon. And it's a really good book. You guys should read it. Really cheap book. And it's a small book. Probably wouldn't take you long to read it. It's book was probably written in the 20s, I want to say, but really, really great read. For any of you guys that read that book, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But one of the statements in that book, it was a story that was told, and at the end of that story, one of the statements was, where the determination is, the way can be found. And I was explaining to my kids last night what that meant, because I didn't want to speed past that statement. Where the determination is, the way can be found. And so I asked a question this morning: are you really determined? Some of you guys are kind of midway in your journey as a bassist. Some of you guys are like way along. You're like expert level as a bassist. And some of you guys are at the beginning stages of playing this thing. Well, no matter what stage, no matter what level you are, because I've been through all of them and currently on the expert level of playing, and I still haven't arrived. I still have a long way to go, in my opinion, in terms of playing this thing. But the thing about it is, where the determination is, the way can be found. I'm determined that I'm going to get better. I'm determined that I'm going to continue to grow. And I have several reasons why I'm determined, but the main thing is the main thing. I am determined I'm going to grow. I'm going to see this thing through to the end, because I know there's something on the other side of this. And what am I pushing so hard for? Because I want to maximize all the potential that I have in me. And the reason why I say that is because somebody might look at my playing where I'm at now. I don't know why, but somebody might look at where I'm at now and it's like, man, if I was where you are as a player, man, I would be good. I wouldn't do anything. I've literally heard people say that to me before. Like, I wouldn't do anything else. I get where you're coming from, maybe looking from your perspective. But for me, it's like, nah, I think I got a little bit more in the tank. So why stop here? If I got this far, maybe I got a little bit more that I could do. Maybe I can push a little harder, grow a little bit more, because there's more things that I want to do. And I want to see what's in the tank. I think I spent the earlier part of my life living below my potential. And I wasted a lot of years. And once you start getting a little success under your belt, and you start seeing certain things that were possible for you that you never even considered before. For some reason, it's something goes off in your mind, and you start to say, "Man, what else is possible that I've been kind of sleeping on? What else? What other things do I have about myself that I don't know yet? What have I not tapped into that I could possibly do?" Because each level just exposes something new about you that you didn't know. And so as you expose these different areas, you have to be determined that I'm going to make these things happen, because opposition and adversity are going to come at every level, no matter if you're at the beginner stage, and you're just struggling to get your fingers together, get your hands together, get your timing together. I got several students that might watch this in the replay, and I know personally a lot of these students deal with different things. So, whatever these things are that you're working through, they're going to be happening at every level. It might be a different problem, but this adversity and the setback, what feels like a setback, it's going to be happening at every level. So you have to make up in your mind, you know what? I'm determined I'm going to figure this thing out. I'm determined that I'm going to do it. And once you start to determine within yourself, you're going to do it. And I heard this is the other book I read one time, is like, it shouldn't be, we can't do this. The question should be, how can we do this? How can we do this? Instead of, man, I don't think we'll be able to do this, or we're not able to do this, or we can't. Like, no, how can we make this happen? How can I work on my speed? How can I get better at my timing? What can I do to work on it? So now you start looking for answers. You start going through the process of looking for answers. Good morning. I see Soul Colt is in here this morning. Yeah, how do I go through the process of finding these answers that I'm looking for? Hello, Jermaine. I'm Korean. Your video is very helpful to me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm reading comments so I don't get behind as well. Thank you for watching this. Jahan, if I'm saying that correctly, Skarabi says I use the Hog 2 octave. So I'll come back to that, Skarabi. That's slightly a little bit off of where I am right now, but I'll try to come back to that. But how do I get to that next place where I'm trying to go? How do I get to that next place in my career? I feel like I'm at a glass ceiling, not necessarily in my playing, but in what I'm trying to do career-wise. How do I break out of that? Well, I think when you're determined, you start just like the process of elimination. You start looking for other things maybe that you haven't tried. It makes me think about a dog that you cage in that's determined to get out. That dog is going to find a way out. And if he keeps trying the same thing and he notices that doesn't work, a smart dog. Let's let's put that out there, because a dumb dog, he's just going to get stuck in there and just be doing dumb stuff. But a smart dog is like, he's going to be looking for ways to get out. And if you're an owner of a dog that's really smart, that does not want to be caged up, he's going to always be looking for some kind of way to get out. He's going to be digging up under the fence. He's going to be getting a running start to try to jump over the fence or climb, and he's going to figure something out to try to see, okay, this didn't work, so I'm going to try this. That didn't work, so I'm going to try that. And after a while, if he keeps going, he's going to be successful at getting out of there, because his main objective, his determination is to get out of this fence. I don't want to be fenced in, so I'm going to get out. One way or another, I'm going to figure this thing out. You come outside scratching your head like, how in the world did this thing get out of here? And you got to do the research and reverse engineer to figure out how the dog got out in the first place, so you'll know how to fix it to keep him in if you have a dog and you're trying to keep him. That's just an analogy that I come up with. But you get the point that I'm making. It's like there's a determination that I don't want to stay here. So my question to you this morning, what has you caged in? Like, is it your mind? And if you're somewhere where you can write this down, write that question down. You don't have to type it in the chat unless you want to. But what has you caged in? Is it mental? Is it physical? Is it spiritual? What is it? Is it financial? What has you caged in your mind? And now, once you write that thing down, the next question is, are you determined to get out of this? Because if you're not determined, if you're just kind of going to lay down and just take it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, y'all just come on. I'm not going to fight back. You know, I'm not going to give any resistance to whatever this thing is that's stopping me. If you accept it as your normal, then you won't look for a way out. I will say that. If you accept what's going on as your normal, and how do I know when I'm accepting something as my normal? Well, you'll know that by the type of things you say on a daily basis, the type of words you use to describe your situation daily. What's going on, man? Oh, nothing. Nothing much. Same old thing, man. Same stuff, different day. You know what I'm saying? Like the way that you describe your situation says a lot about how you view your situation. If you don't have any enthusiasm about today, that means you don't expect anything to get any better. If you don't have any enthusiasm about your playing or when you're learning and this kind of thing, you're not going to get any better. You're going to make like very little progress because there's no enthusiasm behind it, and you can't. It's almost difficult to have determination with no enthusiasm. There has to be some enthusiasm about what it is you say that you're determined about, because other than that, you're just faking the funk. You're just going through the motions. You know what I'm saying? You're going to burn out pretty soon if that's all you're doing is like, I'm just get through it, just grinding through this day. Just trying to hustle another day. You're always trying to get to something else. One of the things I found to be very, very helpful, and I see somebody's commenting, Anthony says, definitely mental. I got you. One of the things that I found, and this might even help you there, Anthony. So we said, is it mental? Is it physical? Is it financial? And I said one other. So if y'all want to type in the comments, I normally have my notes here, but I got my other thing pulled up. But one of the things that I found that helps me, regardless of which one it is, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whether it's financial, one of the things that really helped me is to start to be grateful, show gratitude. Show gratitude. You'll be shocked at how much that kind of opens your mind up in terms of your determination, in terms of finding a way out of this thing. Showing some type of gratitude. And in the dog analogy, it's like, okay, how can that work? Well, that's a dog. We ain't talking about a dog. We talking about you now. Showing gratitude begins to open your mind up. So now you start to see what's available to you. You start to see your available resources. There's an old song, I've talked about it many times, where it says, count your blessings and name them one by one. Once you start doing that, I see you, Benny. That's watching. Fast Philosophy. I have to go now. See you next time. Thank you for watching. I see you guys' comments. I'm gonna come back to them. But once you start showing gratitude, man, it's something else that it does. It begins to open your mind up to think, what else am I missing here? Now I get out of the bed. When I walk over to my studio early in the mornings, it's not that far. It's just like, a few feet or whatever. But when I'm walking out here in the morning, I look around. One of the things I try to do, I look around and say thank you. I look around, even as I'm getting out of my bed, thank you that I could get up. Thank you that I can stand on my own 2 feet. Who am I thanking? Of course, for me, I'm thanking God. I'm thanking God. That's my source. I don't know what your source is, but that's mine. So showing gratitude for just little simple stuff. I seen this post, just to put some stuff into perspective for you guys. I seen this post on social media the other day. This guy that I follow, and we follow each other or whatever, but he bought these glasses, and he was, I'm thinking it's just a regular thing, and I clicked on it, and he's talking about these glasses or whatever. He's like, I'm not going to get emotional. He said, but I see the color blue, I see the color red, I can tell that car is red, and I'm not guessing at it. He's like, y'all, I'm telling you, these glasses are amazing, and I'm speechless right now, because pretty much all of my life I've been colorblind. This is what the guy is saying. He says, pretty much all of my life I've been colorblind, but now I got these glasses. Somebody talked about them. I'm not quick to purchase anything, because there's a lot of gimmicks out there, but somebody mentioned these glasses. So I went and picked them up, and now I can actually see in color. And the guy was genuinely overwhelmed with so much gratitude for just being able to see in color. Now with that being said, think about the things that we complain about on a daily basis. Think about the things that we actually complain about on a daily basis. I mean, my pizza didn't get here on time, or, they got my order wrong when I went to, Bojangles or something. That's my little pet peeve. You know what I'm saying? The little minuscule stuff, the little trifling stuff that we find to be angry and to be upset and to be frustrated about. But somebody's just happy to be able to see in color, to be able to see color. Think about what we take for granted. When I get up in the morning, I'm looking. I took a picture of it one morning because generally when I'm walking out here before the sun rises. But every now and again, I get up a little late. And when I'm walking out here, I get to catch the sunrise while I'm walking over here. And man, like right when it's kind of breaking through the horizon, you can see all of those different colors, man. It's amazing. It's beautiful. And I took a picture of it one day, and I told my wife, I'm like, that don't do it justice. That this picture is not doing what I saw is not doing it justice. And I don't know if it was bad lighting or whatever you want to call it, but it's not doing it justice. And just imagine not, and some of you might be in this position where you're not able to see that, and my heart goes out to you. But just being whatever your thing is, showing gratitude for the simplest of things. Because some of you might be saying, until I told that story just a second ago, you might be saying, I ain't got nothing to be thankful for, man. Everything going wrong for me. I beg to differ. You can hear me. Somebody's praying to be able to hear right now. Somebody's praying to be able to see what they're doing right now, to have their sight right now. Somebody's praying to be able to use their limbs right now, and you have access and you have activity of your limbs where you can do the things you need to do. You was able to tap something and get on here this morning. If you weren't, you're still here. If you're able to respond to me in any kind of way, you have something to be thankful for. The pride of man, there's something that's been said about, the people who have this pride about life in terms of, I woke myself up and I'm this and I'm the reason this and I'm the reason that. All right, cool. You think so? Do me a favor. When you get off of this in the morning, go out and set you some alarm clocks out in the cemetery. Go on out there and set them up. Set them for 6 o'clock, 5, 4, 3, whatever you want to set them for. You can set them for 30 seconds. Once that alarm clock goes off, see how many people get up. I'll wait. What I'm saying with that is never be too prideful in your life to feel like you're doing this all on your own. This is a gift. Each day that we get to be able to do what we do is a gift. So having some type of gratitude, it shifts your perspective. It shifts your perspective off of you. Because as human beings, we all, I don't care how good we are, I don't care how pure our hearts seem to be, we all have the tendency to become negative, cynical, depending on the situation, depending on what we have going on. So we have to force ourselves. We have to remind ourselves. It's a practice. I see it in my kids, and I have to tell them, it's a practice to do good. You're good kids, but something about us has this tendency to naturally be negative, and you have to work towards doing good. I have to teach my kids. I have a 3-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old. Well, my 3-year-old just turned 4. I'm sorry. There you go. Parent problems. I have a 4-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old, right? And so I have to teach them to practice to do what is right because they naturally will gravitate towards negative things. Even when we're watching movies on TV or watching some program or something on TV, they naturally gravitate towards the negative thing. It can be stuff that positive that's happening all throughout the movie. They won't repeat any of that stuff. But as soon as somebody says something negative that seems to be funny or entertaining to them, they gravitate towards that. I mean, look at social media. If there's a fight or something negative, watch it spread like wildfire. Now, on the same token, let it be something that's uplifting, inspiring, barely get any views. When you compare the views to something that's negative, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But we as humans have this natural tendency to gravitate towards negative stuff. We have this tendency to naturally gravitate towards that. So how do we fight against that? Because the whole point is we have to be determined to get out of that. Now, I have to be determined to get out of my situation. Going back to Anthony said earlier, it's definitely mental. You have to be determined to get out of that thing. And it doesn't come by osmosis. It's not going to naturally happen. You can't sit that out in the sun, put a little water on it, and expect for something to grow. That's not how it works. You have to be intentional now that you've identified what that thing is. That's why I had you to write it down, whatever your thing is. Write it down, identify it. So now you can be intentional in attacking that thing, whatever it is. I know for me, I've talked about this on many lives before, in terms of the fact that I get up super, super early in the morning, like 4:30 most mornings, if I don't stay up forever. Most of the time I'm spending that time with my wife late at night, and it's cool. But I have the tendency to try to make myself get up at like 4:30, 4:40 in the morning. Why do I do that? Because me, I have a natural tendency to be negative. I could trace it back through my family. My mom used to joke about my granddad was known to complain about everything. It's a laughing thing when everybody in my family on my dad's side, we kind of laugh about, remembering my grandpa because that was one of his main traits. They knew him for being like a whiner. He had a high voice, and the way he talked, it was kind of slow and sounded like he was whining. So he would complain a lot. So there's a natural tendency there to complain. I'm not blaming it all on him because I don't know where he got it from. But I know for me, I identified that I have a natural tendency. Yeah, the motivation talking guy, grooves of motivation. I have a natural tendency to be negative if I don't get a grip on my morning. I will find the most negative thing and hone in on it and be laser focused on that negative thing. So it's very important that I attack that each day. And that's why I can talk to you about it, because I know firsthand what it's like. As positive as I am and I can be, I have the same makeup to be equally negative. And I don't like that. I don't like that idea that those two things can inhabit the same place. I don't like that idea. So I'm trying to get rid of one of them. I don't want that to be a natural tendency of mine. So you have to be intentional about it. I'm intentional about how I start my day off. I'm intentional about the time I try to get up in the morning and get a head start on my day so nothing can rush in and feed me with negativity to help that thing grow. No, I'm going to start my day off with gratitude. I'm going to start my day off with being thankful. I'm going to look around me and be grateful for what it is I can do. You guys, some of you guys know it because you've been around for a little while, but since the beginning of May, because of an old injury that I won't get into, I've been on crutches, man. I've been on crutches since the beginning of May. I'm just now getting to the point where I'm able to walk again on my own. And I found myself in here this morning going through my regular morning stuff, just overwhelmed with gratitude, just over the fact that I don't have to have those crutches every 5 seconds. You see what I'm saying? So just that simple thing of showing gratitude for something that other people might just get out of bed and just mad because they got to get up. I'm glad I can get up and I can walk because, that hasn't been my normal. I've been on these annoying crutches, tearing my arms up and all this kind of stuff. So it's something that it's been really, really inconvenient for me. But I'm not complaining. The thing is, you have to find something that outweighs your complaint. So do me a favor. Type this in the chat for me. No more complaining. I know that's going to be a challenge. That's going to be a challenge for me. Look, I'm gonna type it in the chat. I'm going to type it in the chat just to show you I'm a team player. No more complaining. Right? And what we're doing with that is we're addressing this problem. We're addressing this problem, right? We're addressing this problem, and we're going to do something about it. We're not going to let this thing rule us. We're not going to let this thing have control over us. We're going to stop the complaining, and we're going to start being, showing more gratitude, man. Showing more gratitude. How can this way be found? Whether determination is, the way can be found. First of all, we got to stop complaining. Stop complaining. It's easier said than done. But if we make a point to write this down and start being aware of what it is we're doing, what it is we're saying, whether it's coming to our play. I know some of you guys are here for bass lessons. This is part of your bass lesson. When it comes to your playing, stop complaining about how good you're not. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself credit for what you're doing. Give yourself credit for the effort that you made this far. If you can't play nothing but Mary Had a Little Lamb and your major scale, thank God for that. You know what I'm saying? Thank God that you can do something. Stop complaining. I'm going to say it again. Stop complaining. And I'm going to probably have to eat my words today because life happens and life is going to present you with something that, oh man, I got a good complaint for that. You know what I'm saying? I got a great complaint for that. We don't want to do that though. We don't want to respond to life with complaining. No, I want to be a problem solver. I don't want to create more problems. I want to be the one that solves problems. Because if I can solve problems, I start to attract the right stuff and the right people and the right answers to me. So now that determination that I'm looking for, or that way I'm looking for to get out of this thing, it's attracted towards me because I'm not so full of the negative stuff that I'm attracting more of this problem. Because that's the thing about it, man. It's like, If you're negative all the time, you're attracting negative energy towards you. All the time you're attracting negative energy. If you shift your mindset and shift what you say, there's power in what you talk about. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. You might not believe that, but I know this to be true. As you confess, so it is to you. As you keep confessing these things, you start to attract to you the things that you want or the things that you don't want. On the flip side of that, the more you talk about, the more you complain. Man, every time I come up here, they always do this. Now, every time you go, that's what you go through because that's what you always say. I mean, it don't make no difference. Every time, if I try this, I already know what's going to happen. And well, there you have it. So ain't no sense of being shocked when it happens because it's what you say. You complain about it, therefore you attract to you. You get what you put out. Now, if you are determined, you know what? For the last 10 years, this has been happening to me, but today it ends. Today it ends. You see what I'm saying? Today it ends. I don't have to accept this. I'm determined I'm going to get out of this. And whether it takes me another 10 years, 10 days, 10 months, however long, I'm going to get out of this. And your confession changes from this always until it changes from that to, you know what? I'm going to make this happen. Regardless of what I see, regardless of what I'm experiencing, regardless of what I thought, I'm going to make this happen, right? And so it begins to shift for you, right? So where that determination is, a way can be found. You can find a way if you're determined, but you have to be mindful of what you're saying and start doing it. Start doing it. Let me go through these comments because I'm seeing some good stuff popping in these comments here. Let me see where I go here. And good morning to everybody that's spoken. I didn't get a chance to respond to you. I see you. So one thing I think that has helped me to progress in many areas of my life was working out, because once you figure out what to do, you can see the progress being made, and it's so encouraging. Absolutely, I agree. I think there's so a cult that said that, once you see what you need to do, start making efforts, start making some type of steps towards the answer that you're seeking. Start doing something to get you closer and closer to your desired finish. Whatever that finish is for you, do something that gets you closer to that. If your desire is to lose weight, then start walking. Start doing something. Drinking more water, walking, working out, exercise. Take baby steps until you can get to the next thing. I think, in my opinion, why most people fail is because when they attempt something, they're going for something in the early stages that's too big. Now, that don't mean don't set big goals, but it takes small steps to accomplish big goals. I had to learn that the hard way because my goals, when I set goals, I set huge goals. And oftentimes I notice I'm trying to skip steps. Like when you're going up a staircase, you don't go from step 1 to 4. No, you go 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you get sweet with it, you can at least skip 1. So you can go 1 to 3. 3 to 5 and so on. But you don't want to skip no more than that. After a while, you're going to look pretty crazy going up the steps. And you're going to end up being a little bit more tired than you would if you had to pace yourself and go up each step, because that's the progress that it takes in order for you to get to the top. But when we start skipping steps, you start to realize, wait, I missed something. And those things that I didn't want to do because it took too long, they were necessary in my development. So once I got to the thing I was trying to get to, I can be sustained once I get there. I didn't miss any steps. So I got there, and it might have took me a while, a little bit longer than it took everybody else. But wait a minute. I know that this person is gone, and I'm still here. Yeah, you took the long way. If you have some help, if you have some mentors, that kind of thing, maybe they can shave some time off. But even in that, you still have a step-by-step process. Your step-by-step process might not be as long as someone who doesn't have any help. But nonetheless, if you don't skip step, if you don't try to cheat the system, you're going to get there. You're going to find a way. If you take it step by step, you're going to get there. Electric, I guess that's how you say it, electric. All right. Been thinking about going full-time as a musician, have the wife's approval, counted my blessings, and I'm thankful to be in a position to do Okay, I got you. In a position to consider it. Only blessing I need is my own. Any advice? Y'all always know my advice to those type of questions is simple. You just got to do it. You got to do it. Um, do your research about your area. Find out what's happening in your area. Find out what's possible in your area. Now, if there is a limit in terms of opportunity, now after doing the research and knowing what's kind of happening, and when I say do research, don't spend too long on that. I got to be really, because some cats are professional researchers and they don't make any moves because I'm just researching. I want to make sure I know. You're not gonna know everything. Even in your research, you're not going to figure it all out. But at least you have some idea going into it. Maybe ask some people who are already doing it around there to see what's happening, if that's what you're trying to get into. Now, if you can't find a set of circumstances that you're looking for in terms of being a full-time musician, maybe you need to start creating them. But relationships are good, figuring out what's going on, what's happening, and if what you're trying to do, if it will work in your area. Because if it doesn't work in your area, well, you have to find it. I mean, you have to move. You do have the internet. You need to figure out ways to get closer to the things that you're trying to do. Talk to some people, build some relationships, see if anyone can open some doors, that kind of thing. Granted, God is the ultimate door opener for you, but we have to do the work. And on our way to doing what it is we have to do, we'll run into some of the answers that we're looking for by making efforts. Like faith without works is dead. Believing that you can do it and actually trying to do something about it is two completely different things. I can have faith all day that, man, I'm going to make it at this bass playing. But if I come in here and look at these basses and spend all my time on Instagram every day and never get anything done, well, I'm not going to make much progress. So you have to put some type of effort behind what it is you're trying to do. So that's my advice in that. Take some steps. Start taking some steps. You can even try to move and do something while you're researching. But at all costs, don't sit still. That's my advice. Move. Do something, right? And as you move, you'll start finding the answers that you're looking for. Music for Jesus says, yes, I celebrate the small wins. I realize it has been the collection of small wins that equals my counted progress and success. Absolutely. You said something there. And then I see everybody was commenting, no more complaining. That's good. No more complaining. I see you all commenting that. Philippians, Dan says, Philippians 2:14, do everything without complaining. Listen, that complaining will take you out. SRV did well for himself with Mary Had a Little Lamb. Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So Washington says, that's true. I've played bass for 7 years and my feel was never where I wanted it. And things just things just ticked and I saw exactly what was wrong. It wasn't fun being in that space long, but I'm grateful. Yeah, when you can see, it's uncomfortable, but it's nothing like knowing what the problem is. Like I know exactly what it is I need to do. I love doing my yard. Let me clean that up. If you've been around, you know me. I love riding a zero turn and mowing my yard. I hate doing the hedges and I hate doing the weed eating. But the zero turn and just riding, I'm good with that. So that's what I mean. But sometimes, when you're working with the lawnmower, sometimes some things can happen. Any hard, I was going to say hardware, but any stuff around your property or anything like that you got to work on, from time to time, it's going to break. Something is going to happen to it. But oftentimes you can hurry up and get back to work when you know what the problem is. The problem happens when something is not working correctly and you can't pinpoint what the problem is. You see what I'm saying? Like you can't pinpoint what that thing is. Like it's smoking. Why is it smoking? Okay, I got plenty of oil in it. I changed the oil. I changed the filter. I changed this. I did that, but it's still smoking. I don't know why it's smoking. So now you got to try to narrow down. And if you're not a mechanic, that's going to take you a little while. But if you're a mechanic or if you're somebody that really works on engines and you know what causing that problem, maybe in your car or something like that. Oh yeah, you got a blown head gasket. Oh, and they can go right to whatever the issue is and tell you exactly what it is. But if you're not skilled in that area, it's going to take you a while. But when you know what the problem is, you're that much closer to fixing it. So if you don't know what it is, get around somebody who does know. Get you a coach. Get on YouTube. Do whatever it is you need to do to find out what is going on with me. or what's going on in my plan, what's going on in the area of my finances. Because if you keep running into things that's causing you, and I can talk from experience with this one, if you keep running into things that's causing you to fail in your finances, maybe you should look at some counseling or get a book. One of the books that really helped me in my financial situation was that book. And don't get me wrong, I've definitely been growing over the years in my finances, but the book really helped me to put some other things in a perspective in terms of growing my finances. Not enough to just save and put back and all this kind of stuff, but actually growing your finances. The book, Richest Man in Babylon, great book to read. I don't subscribe to everything in the book, but the principles that are taught there are really, really great principles. Let's see here. Appreciate it. Let me go back. Okay. Electric says, appreciate it. God only helps those who help themselves. Luckily, I am in a great area for that. I won't sit still. Good stuff. Good stuff. As Kevin Hart said, be a part of your own rescue. Help me help you. Absolutely. Definitely be a part of your own rescue. The herbal healer. When it comes to walking baselines like in the chicken, what would you practice to get there? Thanks, man. So I'm in a completely different space right now, so it might take me a second to swing back around to that. But I want to make sure the point at hand. I want to make sure that you guys are truly understanding what it is I'm talking about in terms of if you're determined to get to where it is you're trying to go, you take those necessary steps, you're going to be okay. Once you start identifying what those problems are, you make sure you make some plans to start attacking those problems. You start changing the words that come out of your mouth, the complaining. No more complaining. We already typed it in chat. No more complaining. We're dealing with this stuff. We're nipping it in the bud. We're not going to keep, going through the same thing. We're going to identify what our weak areas are so that we can get out of this. It doesn't matter if it's your playing. It doesn't matter if it's your mental, physical, or financial. You know what I'm saying? So we want to make sure we're working on all of those, identifying what the weak areas are and doing something about them, moving and getting something done about them. All right. Would drinking 5 cups of coffee before a gig be a good idea? Albert, I'm going to let you handle that one, man. And to each his own, I'll say that. To each his own. I don't drink coffee, so you know what I'm saying. I can't tell you what works for you. I don't know if you're dead sleepy. I would say get some sleep. If you're that tired, you need 5 cups of coffee. You probably don't need to be at that gig. You probably need to be in the bed. That's just my little 2 cents. What's the perfect way to practice the modes? All right, so clearly y'all want to learn about some base stuff, but I'm hoping that you're taking away from the talk what we're actually talking about in terms of the determination for what it is you're trying to do. Now, I will say this to the people that are asking the questions about the different lessons and the base questions. I have a whole channel dedicated here, YouTube, this channel right here. If you're new to my channel, I have all kind of lessons dedicated to some of the questions that you're asking. I would just encourage you to do a binge and just go and search through my lessons. I've covered it. I've did a ton of lessons here on YouTube that cover a broad topic of subjects or whatever. Let's see. Some of the stuff that you guys are asking me, I have talked about this, and like I can't really answer this in 2 or 3 minutes or in the space of this live. And to be clear, let me say this too. When I talk on Tuesday mornings, sometimes I'll answer some questions concerning, some base stuff and base lesson stuff, but I generally don't set aside this time for grooves and motivations to do base lessons right here. If you want a little bit more in depth about these things, again, I've created tons of content free here on YouTube. And if that's not enough, I do have paid courses on JermaineMorgan.net in the monthly membership lessons that I talk about pretty much a good bit of all this stuff that you guys are asking me here. So do me a favor. If you want me to answer, at least go through my channel and check out the videos that I've designated to answer those questions, because I feel like that's a better usage of time instead of me trying to give you a quick answer here. because most of the stuff you would need to kind of sit with the stuff, and you want to be in a position where you can pull your bass out and make sure you're getting the things and retaining the things that you need to retain. Because I can answer your question, but that don't mean you're going to get it. So I'd rather you go and look at a lesson that I've already kind of talked about it, and that way we don't, neither one of us waste any time. And I answer a question is like, I don't really get it. So you know what I'm saying? So I prefer that you do that rather than me trying to answer here, because I've already been here like an hour and a half. And if I start trying to get into that, we'll be here another hour trying to answer all of these questions. So some of the base lesson questions, unfortunately, I won't get into some of those questions. No wonder my timing is way off. I'm very impatient, so sometimes it's frustrating seeing the goal and not being there. Oh, I know exactly what you mean. I think us visionaries deal a lot with that. If you are a visionary, meaning you can see things before they happen, you can see something completed before you start on it. You have an idea of what you want, and you know exactly what it is in detail. Now you got to go through the grueling task of trying to make it happen. Yeah, it can be, you know what I'm saying? All good, Benny. No problem at all. I just want to make sure that you guys get the most. I don't want to just give you something, just trying to hurry up and answer your question. I'd rather you get the most out of the answer or out of the lesson, as opposed to me trying to give you a quick 30-second answer just for the sake of time. I don't feel like it'll be valuable to you. So I want to make sure that you're getting a valuable answer, not just me avoiding your question, but I want to make sure that you get exactly what you need. And I think in the lessons, I take a little bit more time to give you exactly what you're asking for than a little 2-minute answer here, right? But yeah, it can be really, really frustrating if you've already seen what that thing looks like at the end, and now you have to start the beginning to get there, right? You just went to graduation, and somebody just, finished their 4-year degree, and now you're getting ready to start college, and they just graduated in the thing that you're trying to go to school for. You know what it is. You seeing them doing their dream job. Now you're just a freshman. It's like, man, come on. Like, now you got to go through it and spend all that time waiting, right? All right. So again, guys, I just wanted to share a little bit this morning. I hope today has been really, really helpful for you. If it has, be sure to share this video with somebody. Let somebody know about me being here on Grooves and Motivation. If you have another musician friend that you feel like would benefit from this talk, or somebody in general that may not be a musician, be sure to share this video with them. Another one of the comments, Leon says, good day, my brother. Same to you. Electric says, love the motivational talks on these mornings. We as musicians need it more than we realize. Jermaine is just there to make the bass look pretty on these strings. Man, thank you. I appreciate it. We play a little bit. And again, just for clarity, every now and again, I might talk and share some different things for what I'm doing. But specifically when I started Grooves and Motivation, I didn't do it from the standpoint of trying to do bass lessons with these things. There are some things I realized in my own journey as a musician that I know that are necessary. We get all these chops, we get all this stuff down, we learn all this stuff, but as 2020 showed us, there are some other things to this musician journey, to this career that we need, man, in order to be able to function and to be productive. A lot of us have that natural, we're naturally productive, we're naturally achievers rather. And so we don't need no motivation. We're self-motivated. A lot of us are, but a lot of us are not. A lot of us don't have clarity as to what we're trying to do, and we could use that extra bit of encouragement. And that's why I'm here, to motivate, encourage, and inspire you to do something greater or better or beyond what you've been doing. Now, does that mean I know everything? I have all the answers? Absolutely not. But the things that I have learned, I've paid for them. I paid for them dearly. And if I could save some of you some time, not save you from going through any problems, because you're going to go through those on your own. But if there's something I could share and help you to realize, man, it's possible to get out here and do it. If Jermaine Morgan made this happen for himself and he's taking care of his family through this thing, well, I know I should be able to do it. Get past what you think I am right now. And notice I haven't always been here. And my story is pretty transparent as relates to my musical journey. A lot of it you can't see, but much of it is available on YouTube. You can go all the way back to my first videos when I started and see the progression of how these videos are even now. So it's all a process, and we're all working through something. And hopefully my transparency helps you to better get to where it is you're trying to go. All right. So Electric says, absolutely correct. You're doing God's work, man. Thank you for that. Albie says, great encouragement. God bless you. Thank you, man. Same to you. It's on YouTube. Awesome message as always. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And again, guys, be sure to share this with somebody else. I'm going to jump off. I got some other things I got to handle today. But let's see here. Music with Jesus, I agree. The lessons can be deep dives and take time to go through. The grooves and motivation sessions are so encouraging, much needed, and much appreciated. Peace and blessings. Thank you, guys. And again, if you're looking for some of these answers, go to my YouTube channel, and I probably did some type of video to cover some of the questions that you've asked concerning this base. And if you don't find what you need, hopefully it's in the monthly membership. You'll find it there. All right, guys. I'm out. Thank you for joining me this morning. Blessings to you. Peace.